Now let us try to solve some example to find the magnetic field intensity due to a current carrying conductor at any particular point, and the force between two current carrying conductors, and the problem based on the Faraday's law of electromagnetic induction. So the first problem is a wire carrying a current of 100 amperes is bent in a form of a square in xy plane of side 10 centimeter. Now we have to find the magnetic field intensity H at the center of the square. So according to the problem, the wire is bended in form of a square. So for example, this is X, this is Y. The square is formed in XY plane as it is said here. The side is 10 centimeter and carrying a current of 100 amperes bent in the form of a square XY, and this is Z. Now we have to find the field at center as it is said here. So this is 10, 10, 10, 10. Name it A, B, C, D. Assume that the current is flowing in this direction. Just we are assuming this. Now, due to a current carrying conductor, we can assume there are four conductors. One is AB, another is BC, CD and DA. And we know due to a current carrying conductor, if there is a current carrying conductor of finite length at any particular point, the magnetic field intensity, we know it, and that can be found out through the formula. If it is extrapolated, this is rho, this is our theta 1, we derived the formula, and this is theta 2, and from here the final the relation to find the magnetic field intensity was derived. That was I that is flowing in that current, that conductor, I by 4 pi rho, the perpendicular distance from the point to the conductor, rho, and sine theta 2 minus sine theta 1. We have derived it already. So from here, just let us assume four conductors of finite length and start finding the intensity due to every conductor at this point. So before finding the value, let us try to find the direction of the intensity H at this point. So if the current is flowing in this direction, then the field at this point will be, we will put the thumb in the direction of the current, we will curl the finger, the curling direction of the finger will give us the direction of the magnetic field intensity. And if we put it here, the curling direction is upward, so that is the direction of Z. If it is XY plane, then it will be normal to that, that is the Z direction. So due to this, the field direction will be upward, we can say, that is in the direction of Z. And from BC, again it will coming to the upward, and CD it is coming to the outward, put outward, and DA again it is coming to the outward. So from every part of the conductor, the field is coming to the outward. Okay, and the length is same, the current is same, so we can say the total field will be just 4 times I divided by 4 pi rho times this, and the field will be coming outward, that is towards positive Z. this is the length of the conductor, that is 10 centimeter, and this will be rho 5 centimeter, half of this, and the angle made from here to this will be theta related from here. The initial point is making angle theta 1, so it is theta 1, and the end point is making angle theta 2, so this is theta 2. So if it is reference, theta 2 is assumed as positive, theta 1 will be considered as negative in the direction of the increment of the theta is in opposite direction. So from here we can say this is 5, this is 5, so these two angles will be equal. So this will be 45 and this will be 45. Similarly, this will be 45 and this will be 45. So theta 2 will be plus 45, theta 1 will be minus 45. So from there we can find 400 divided by 4 pi rho 5 centimeter. So just keep it in centimeter, convert it into meter, and sine theta 2 is 45. So sine 45 is 1 by root 2 minus sine minus 45, so it will give us minus 1 by root 2, that minus and this minus will be plus. And simplify this, 4 into 100, 2 by root 2, that will be root 2, divided by 4 pi into 5 into 10 to power minus 2. This is nothing, ampere per meter. So we can say ampere per meter, that is the unit of H. So this 4 and this 4 will be cancelled out, and from here it will go up, it will be 20 times 100 times root 2 divided by pi. This is ampere per meter in the direction of AZ. For all the conductors it is coming to the outward. So this is the magnetic field intensity at the center of the square that is placed in XY plane, carrying current in anti-clockwise direction. Now next problem is a circular loop located at circle of radius 3 in XY plane carries a current of 10 ampere along A phi. Find H at Z is equal to 4 and at Z is equal to minus 4. So we have to find this H, magnetic field intensity, at two different points due to this circular loop. As it is said, circular loop is in XY plane. So this is X, okay, anti-clockwise. Then we can assume this is X, this is Y, minus X. The loop is like this in XY. This is the loop, either we can say this is the circular loop. The center is x minus 0 square plus y minus 0 square is equal to r square. So radius is 3, this is 3 from here, and center is at 0, 0. Now it is carrying a current at 10 ampere along A phi. This is the positive direction of A phi, tangential to this. So it means the current is moving, we can say anti-clockwise. The direction of A phi is anti-clockwise. Okay, we have to find the field at Z is equal to 4 unit. We have to find field at that point, and similarly we have to find the field at Z is equal to minus 4. As this point is indicating Z is equal to 4, Z is equal to minus 4. So due to current carrying loop, we know H is equal to I rho square divided by 2 rho square plus z square. If it is in xy plane, the loop is in xy plane, then it was z square 3 by 2, and the direction of the flux is along the direction of h will be along the thumb direction. So it is rotating in the a phi direction anti-clockwise. The direction of the field h, this will be along the z direction. Okay. Now everything I is known to us, that is 10 ampere, rho is known to us, that is 3, z is known to us, that is 4. So we can find 10 into 3 square divided by 2 rho square, that is 3 square plus 4 square power 3 by 2 in the direction of AZ. So simplify this, it will give us 10 into 9 divided by 2 into 5, 25 to power 3 by 2, 125. So we can cancel it 2, 5, 5, 25, 9 by 25, that will be, okay, the final value will be 9 by 25 in the direction of AZ at this point. Now we have to find at this point. So at this point we find again z is minus 4, it will give us plus 16, and there will be no change at all in anything except this point. So h at z is equal to plus 4 and at z is equal to minus 4 will be same, that is 9 by 25 in the direction of AZ. Now next problem is based on the force experienced between two current carrying conductors. The problem statement is a rectangular loop carry current I2 placed before a long wire carry current I1, and the force experienced by the loop is given by. So according to the problem, there is a rectangular loop that is carrying current I2. So this is a rectangular loop. We can mark it. It is carrying current I2. So there is not given the direction of the current, either it is clockwise or anti-clockwise. So we can assume it clockwise direction, as in the previous case we assumed anti-clockwise to find h. So here we will assume clockwise direction of the current that is flowing in this. And now we have to find, it is placed before a long wire carry current I1. So there is another current carrying conductor in which the current is flowing I1, not I1, and this I2 is flowing. Now we have to find the force between these two. So before finding the force, there should be some assumption. The first assumption, we have made that the current is flowing in the clockwise direction in the rectangular loop. The second assumption that we can make, as it is not given anything here except these two, then we can assume this is at a distance of rho naught, the distance between these two, and the length of the rectangle is A, and the width of the rectangle is B. Okay, and we will mark A, B, C, D. So we will try to find the force at every element from this current carrying conductor. Then we will add up them all in vector form and we will find the net force acting on the loop. Now the force experienced by loop will be the force experienced by element AD, AB, BC and CD. So the net force will be equal to the F, we can say dA plus F AB plus F BC plus F CD. So let us start to find FDA due to this element FDA. And to know the force, the formula is IL cross B. So we know I in this, we know length of this. The field is required to know due to this current. So B, we can say B at dA will be mu naught I. If we assume it of infinite length, then in that case we can say 2 pi rho naught. This is B due to this current carrying conductor at this distance, at this portion of the current carrying conductor, that is at distance rho naught. And the force we can write, force will be IL cross B. So if we try to find the magnitude, then ILB will be there. I is the I2, L is, we can say B, and B dA is mu naught I1 divided by 2 pi rho naught, and this force is, the current is in the same direction, the force between these two will be attractive. We have discussed this in detail. Attractive force. And if we assume this is the positive x direction, this is the y direction, z direction, then the force will be in which direction? At this element, the force will be negative x direction. So we can say it will be mu naught I1 I2 divided by 2 pi rho naught B in the negative x direction. Okay, at this element the force will be in this direction if it is attractive force. Now the force at AB will be, okay, so at AB and CD, let us try to understand together. Both are at equidistance from here, and the current is in AB is towards positive x, and current in CD is towards negative x. Okay, so the direction of the force will be in this will be just opposite to this. So if we say force AB, then it should be opposite to force CD, as the direction of the current is just opposite and remaining things are same exactly to AB. Now force on BC will be, force on this will be the magnetic field at this, and the formula IL cross that magnetic field will give the force at this. So for that purpose, let us try to find B first. that will be mu naught, the field due to the current I1 will be there, divided by 2 pi rho naught. Rho is the distance from here to here, that is rho naught plus A. Okay, so this is B, and if it is B at this element, then the force will be, according to here, just we will try to find the magnitude, then I2 cross I2L, that is I2B, and cross B means multiplied with B, mu naught I1 divided by 2 pi rho naught plus A, and it is carrying current in opposite direction, so the force will be repulsive, and the force in this will be due to repulsive nature towards the positive x, so we can say it will be in the positive x direction. Okay, so the force at BC is this, and the force at DA is this. And if we wish to find the total force, then we can say the sum of all these. So the total force will be mu naught I1 I2 B divided by 2 pi rho naught in the direction of minus AX in this, and FAB and plus FBC will be I1 mu naught I1 I2 B divided by 2 pi rho naught plus A in the direction of plus AX, and in this the force will be FCD, and from here FAB plus FCD is equal to 0, it is 0, and the sum of these two will be total force. So that will be mu naught I1 I2 B divided by 2 pi, here it will be 1 by rho naught with minus sign plus 1 by rho naught plus A with plus sign. This is the total force in the direction of AX. Now the next problem is, consider 1 ton rectangular loop of wire placed in uniform magnetic field as shown here. The plane of the loop is perpendicular to the field lines, and the resistance of the loop is 0.4 ohm, and the inductance is negligible. The magnetic flux density in Tesla, we can say that is 0.25 sin omega t, where omega is 2 pi f. And now we have to find the power absorbed by this loop. So the power absorbed or dissipated by the loop, we know that can be written as V square by R. We have this formula from electrostatics, and R of the loop is given. We have to find the EMF induced in the loop, and to find the EMF we know the formula, that is the rate of change of the flux, and to find the EMF, that is V, the flux is required to know, and we know the flux is equal to magnetic flux density times the area of the loop. Okay, so if we know magnetic flux density, we know the area, then we can find flux, and the rate of change of the flux give us V, and that we will put it here. We can get the power knowing the value of the resistance of this loop. So the first concentration is to multiply magnetic field density with area. So to find the flux, we will do B, that is given here, 0.25 sine omega t. This will be multiplied by the area, that we can say 5 times 10, that is 50 centimeter into centimeter, 10 to power minus 4 meter. So this is the flux, and if we will differentiate it with respect to time, then we can get d phi over dt will be, here if we multiply, it will be 12.5 times, it will give us 0.2, 10 to power minus 4 sine omega t d over dt, and after further simplification it will give us 12.5 omega cos omega t. We have it, and omega we know it from here, so put the value of omega, that will give us 12.5 times 100 pi cos omega t. This is d phi over dt, and we know this is nothing, just the EMF induced in the conductor. Now the power loss, that in the form of, it will be absorbed by the loop, it will be V square by R. This V is the RMS value of the EMF induced. So this, the RMS value of this will be, we will find the RMS value of this, that will be 12.5 into 100 pi into RMS value of this will be 1 by root 2 is square divided by R, that is 0.4 ohm. So if we will solve this, then we will get it will be 12.5 square times 10 to power 4, pi square will be 10 divided by 2 divided by 0.4. Simplify this, we will get the value of power absorbed by the loop in watt. Okay. So the important point is, for power, the simple formula we have this, we know this thing is required to know. To find this, we have this relationship in magnetic field, and to find this thing is required to know, that we have from here. Now do it all, we will get the power